Good evening, everyone. Hello. What is going down? Let's just see. Oh, what is going down? Let's just see. Oh, what is going down? Hey, Calvin, how you doing? Wait a minute, I just did something crazy on this platform that I never do. Hello, hello. Hey, Calvin, how you doing? Wait a minute. Okay, so why am I hearing this crazy echo on this platform that I? Hang on, hang on, hang on. Let's see. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to pop back out of here, folks. What's going on? Okay, let's see. All right, folks, I am going to pop back into. Hey, Virginia. All right, so how's everybody doing? Man, I've been gone. I've been at the beach, hanging out, but I'm back. Where are my wealthy you go-getters at? Y'all thought y'all had lost me, but oh no, I'm still here. But hey, come on in. If you're just coming in, I'm Deborah Owens, and I'm just popping in to give you guys some updates. Of course, Wealthy You Wind Down will be this Wednesday, and our Wealthy You Society will be resuming our Q&A and skill building sessions. So I know there's going to be a lot of questions about that. I'm going to give folks just a few minutes to come on in. Man, it has been so hot. But hey, it is the second part of the year, and it is time for a reset. Because I'm sure if any of you have made any of your major goals at the beginning of the year, that it definitely, things have gotten twisted. But what I'm excited about is, right in the midst of all of this, I decided to launch our Wealthy You Society membership program. And as a result of that, we have just been seeing some amazing results. So that's good. I'm going to be sharing with you what was such a crazy week. Last week, talk a little bit about Essence. I was on the Essence virtual platform for their Essence Festival. So it almost didn't happen though, you guys. So I can't wait to share all of that with you. But hey, as you're coming in, just let me know where you're from and what city you're from, so I can give you a shout out. So I'm going to give everybody just a few minutes, because I know in particular that the Wealthy You Society doesn't know I'm on, but I've decided that we've got a big event coming up. And so I want to do kind of like a prequel to that, to make sure that we're covering all our bases, and that in particular, when we go for live with this all-day event on Saturday, July 18th, that we're covering what it is you want to know. So Wealthy You Go-Getters, come on in. Wealthy You community members, come on in, and let's talk about what's going on. Thanks, Kavette. Yeah, that was It's interesting that on one of my, how they Facebook sends you the memories, and 9 years ago I did my first Essence photo shoot actually for the book A Purse of Your Own. So how time flies when you're having fun. But so I'll be sharing a little bit about that. I also, man, we got some awesome lineup for the Black Girl Magic Wealth event that's happening on July 18th. And so I have another announcement because, one of the things that I've come to understand is that when you're just about to make a huge breakthrough or a huge impact to bless a whole lot of people, you are going to be met with opposition, obstacles, anything that could possibly go wrong. Boy, you will be tested is the point that I want to make. And the reason why that is so important is because for some of us, we'll start to think, oh man, well, since I'm getting all this opposition and everything is happening, then maybe this isn't the direction I should go, when in fact, it's exactly where you need to go. You need to go right into whatever that opposition is. Because I can't tell you how many times I wanted to give up on this whole focus of helping our community build wealth. After you've been rejected, and you've been trying to get access to capital, you've been trying to build things, and I've been in pitch competitions, I've been in meetings, I've been with venture capitalists, and when I stand up and say, yes, I'm Deborah Owens, founder of Wealthy You, and my goal is to help women, Black women, master the art of investing so they can build wealth. Like crickets, right? Like crickets. But so here's what's deep though. Here's what's deep is if you think about how much is being revealed, right? Like how much is being revealed. And just the amount of opposition, not only opposition, but the systemic barriers, the biases that you just confront as a Black person, right? Like every day. And you're like, well, did they say that? Like, I don't know if you guys have you guys seen Procter and Gamble's new commercials about bias? If you haven't seen it, Google it. But so it starts out with a Black man. He's with his kids. They go into like a store somewhere. I'm paraphrasing. But they go into a store and, they don't get acknowledged. They go out to eat. The other people are being served and helped and everybody's being congenial. They're barely getting served. He's in the pool with his son. Teaching them how to swim and, sorry guys, teaching them how to swim and barely acknowledged. Then they go into a room and everybody is standing up. Yeah, Raquel, isn't it deep? And then everybody stands up, and then he enters and he's the judge. And if you just think about just the everyday situations that you have to confront, you begin to understand that can you be angry about it? To be honest with you, in this current environment, I'm not going to say I'm glad, but I'm going to say that I do feel like what we are finally seeing is the real. You know what I mean? Like the real. The real, like You might have think you were imagining things like, how come nobody's helping me in the store? You know what I mean? Like, or you go to a restaurant, you wait, and you wait and you wait and you wait. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. When I'm spending my hard-earned dollars, I'm not gonna wait long. Trust and believe. I just really feel like I shouldn't have to, like, you gotta show up right. You gotta go above and beyond in terms of service before I'm gonna be, exchanging dollars with you. Why would I do that anyway? But anyway, I digress. So, hey, if you're just joining, excellent. Come on in. Hey, tell me who's on with me tonight. I'm going to be giving you some updates. We've got a huge event coming up on July 18th. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But what I really, and the main thing I want to talk about tonight is, listen, guys. It is July 3rd. And no, it's July 6th or 7th, or I don't know, guys. I've been on vacation. I just got back in this office. But it's the second half of the year, guys. And so what I really want to encourage you to do is to reflect on, many of you made a whole bunch of goals, me included. But, we had to pivot. Like March, boom. We were planning a live event. We had to pivot. We had to go, hey, Debbie, we had to go virtual. And it was one of our most successful events. My husband, he hasn't been in the office for darn near 4 months almost now. And so things have definitely changed. You have to pivot. That's right, Calvin. And not only do you have to pivot, but I think we need to, that's right, Quebec. I think we've got to just understand that it ain't over. And even when it is over in terms of a vaccine or whatever, what we have to recognize is things aren't going back the way they were, right? Like, we have got to be prepared. But what we need to be thinking about is, okay, if this is true, if social distancing is, so we've got to start thinking about what are the opportunities on the other side. And certainly that's what we talked a lot about in the Wealthy You community as it relates to stay-at-home stocks. But there's some other things that I think everybody needs to be aware of. Now, think of travel. We had already talked about this, but what they're already seeing is that people are buying more boats. They're buying more RVs, recreational vehicles. What you're seeing it in very dense areas, and it was the urban areas that everybody wanted to move back to because of the transportation, because being able to not be on the road and the commute. And so now what we're seeing is a shift in that, and now people want to live in homes where they're not congested. I was reading a story in the New York Times about this couple. Do you know that in what is the name of this town? Mount Clair, New Jersey, right? About 11 miles outside of New York, a very affluent community with individual homes. And what they are saying is that people are trying to move out of New York in droves, and that they are paying like 20 to 30% above asking price. And so I say all of this to folks to say this is that start thinking about, don't be fearful of change. That's the point I want to make, right? Don't be fearful of it. Think about how this change is going to impact others, and then how you can become a solution in that change. And not only that, how you need to be positioning yourself, because it's important. And I was talking a little earlier, and by the way, if you're just joining in, I'm Deborah Owens, founder and CEO of Wealthy You, where we teach Black women and men, but I'm just going to be frank with you, y'all, primarily Black women. Our company's Wealthy You, but I guess I'm a Black woman, and so Black women have an affinity towards me. And I can remember very early on starting out and people saying, "Oh, do you want to say Black women? Like you're gonna eliminate, you're eliminating the market." Listen, I do have women of color, but primarily 80% of all of our products and services are purchased and attended by Black women. So I'm in the business of Black women. I can't put it any plainer. Why is that? Well, so recently I wrote a love letter to Black women, a financial love letter to Black women. And if you want to read that letter, I encourage you to go on my website and read it. And the reason I wrote that financial love letter, because in the past 5 years, since pivoting, even then to Wealthy You, I mean, primarily I was doing more speaking and writing books and that sort of thing, and then pivoted to really want to recognizing that if we're going to tackle this wealth gap experienced by Black women, then it's going to take rolling up sleeves and really getting into the nitty-gritty and providing accountability and support, which is why Wealthy You provides wealth coaching. People ask me, what is wealth coaching? Well, the difference between, financial coaching and wealth coaching is we focus primarily on helping you increase your financial acumen. So teach you how to analyze and research stocks, teach you how to analyze and research mutual funds, teach you how to build a portfolio. So we focus on helping you increase your financial acumen so you can master the art of investing so that you can create generational wealth, right? Because that's really the issue in our community, is that most of us are first generation investors, and because we're first generation investors, typically you learn about the financial markets and how they work from a trusted advisor or a family member. But if no one in your family ever invested, then where would you learn it, right? And so that's really what Wealthy You is about, is being that bridge and making this stuff plain, because it's not rocket science. It's not hard, but it's not easy. And anything of value takes time. It takes time. And so the reason I wrote the financial love letter is because the truth is that everything that Black people have been taught about being financially successful, I won't say is wrong. I'll say it didn't work. It was the wrong financial blueprint because it didn't take into account. Now, I want you guys to hear me on this, right? It didn't take into account the systemic economic barriers that we face as Black people. Okay, agree or disagree with me? Like, were you told, there are a couple of myths that we're going to break down in this one-day event on Saturday, July 18th. Black Girl Magic Wealth. We need a new wealth blueprint. We need a new model for financial success. And what I'm going to be sharing really is what I have learned coaching hundreds, now thousands of women over these past 5 years. And it's almost like we have to do almost the opposite of what we've been told. Okay, couple of myths. First myth is that a corporate career leads to financial success. No, I mean, the largest employer, that's right, Calvin, of African Americans is the government. And if you think about the government, and the reason people go to work for the government and accept less, based on what their, educational attainment is because of that security, right? And before, the government had a pension, but it no longer has that, right? So you have a TSP or a 457. And so, you're sitting in that little row and you trying to go from GS 12, 10, 14, whatever. And the problem with that is that those incremental increases, they're not significant enough. And if you look at the people who are the most successful, they're the people who move from opportunity to opportunity. And that's how you can, you can 10x, if you will, as my son says, your earnings. And so we were taught that, and yet what you'll see, and I started seeing this maybe about right as Obama was elected. I do a lot of consulting. I go into organizations. I do presentations for their leadership training, specifically for women. And what I noticed was there were so few of us. I mean, you would see like a significant amount of, we were making strides, and now you go in and there are no Black people in a lot of these organizations. And so, here we are today, and finally, folks aren't fearful about speaking up about it. It's ridiculous, right? Like, the truth is, and the reason why I really want to focus the framework for our next event is Black Girl Magic Wealth, is because the bottom line is that Black women influence every trend in this country, whether it be fashion, art, music, technology, innovation, you name it. And yet, that innovation, that brilliance, that intellect, that genius has not been transferred into generational wealth. And the truth is that Black women, because of our influence and the ability to start trends and having a unique perspective, that if you think about it, so many cultures adapt, right? We have got to harness that brilliance. Not only harness it, but wield it to getting a return on our investment. And so that's really what I'm going to be talking about in the prequel going up to this event, is I want to have a hard conversation about the reality that we're seeing now, this systemic economic barriers. We were told that home ownership, that builds wealth. I just read a study now that, first of all, our homes don't increase at the same rate as the majority population. And I'm not even going to say majority population. I'm going to say as the white population. And yet, when it comes to our property taxes, this just blew me away. When it comes to property taxes, our properties are valued more than what they're worth, so we'll pay higher property taxes. Are you with me? Now, this is just nuts. And so, no, we cannot look at home ownership as that roadmap to wealth, because our homes simply in our communities aren't going to appreciate well until gentrification, right? Until some other folks come in and say, oh, this is a great place to live. And so because of that, we can't look at that asset as the way we get a return on investment. So do not go and say, oh, Deborah said we shouldn't buy homes. I did not say that. If anything, we need to purchase our homes. We need to make sure that we, when we retire, we don't have a mortgage. I don't care what mumbo jumbo people tell you about having a tax deduction. So you got to spend $1 to save. You got to spend $10 to save $3. No. So much of what I've learned is going to challenge conventional wisdom. Are you here with me? Yes, Demita. My childhood friend, me and Demita, we go back. I have to tell you, Demita is doty to me. Demita, you'll always be doty to me, but we go way back. We must have been 7 or 8 years old when we met in Detroit. And now you see it in Detroit. They're buying up all of these homes, renovating them, and increasing their value. But I'm intrigued. I've seen that, you've got some young folks out here talking about buy the block, doing things collectively. That's what has to be done. Okay, the other thing I want to talk about is the amount of debt we go into for education. We got to stop the nonsense, because we do not get that same return on investment. Meaning that, you send your child away, you send them out of state, you send them to some of these Ivy League schools, and unless your child really is going to leverage that relationship that certain schools give them, their alumni relationship, and it helped them to move in the world and get opportunities, I'm telling you, all bets are off, right? Like, we've got to be much more strategic. We've got to send our children to, if it's taking AB courses or IB, International Baccalaureate, so that, by the time they get out of high school, they've already got 2 years, so they're not spending, 2 additional years. I mean, come on, y'all. This is ridiculous, right? I'm sitting with people right now who have $100,000 in school loan debt for not themselves, but for their children, right? So we got to be more strategic. Take advantage, strategic in taking advantage of tuition reimbursement programs through employers. There are all kinds of opportunities in scholarships. We have a friend, hurt me to my heart, but their children had $50,000 above what they needed for an education. And so what that really means is, that's right. So Demita is saying scholarships are available. Folks have to apply. My daughter has been very successful at applying and getting money for a master's program. It's not hard, but it's not easy. Okay, and so we've got to take advantage of every opportunity they have. And there's a great book out. It's called Leapfrog. It's by Natalie Molina. She's a Latina, and she breaks it down. She says, if you are a person of color, you need to take advantage of every opportunity available to you, because your counterparts have, right? So they have legacy where they get into these schools because they have siblings or parents or relatives, they're second and third generation. So we have to stop looking at, affirmative action as if it's a bad word. No, we earned every dollar, and in fact, we need more. Okay, so don't even let me get it started on that. So we have got to be more strategic about how we finance college education. The other thing I want to say, and at our event on July 18th, Dr. Tisa Silver Kennedy, who just wrote a book, Melanin, Money, and Matriculation, and she breaks it down. She used to head financial wellness for the University of Maryland, Baltimore, and she takes it to a whole nother level. And interestingly enough, not only is she a financial wellness advocate, but she too is someone who went through Wealthy You, and we had a hard conversation about, nope, you get to decide how much you're worth. Now, what can I say? She is, now she's now a full professor. But that's just about, and so she's going to talk about that journey and how important it is. Your career is an asset. That's the point I want to make, right? Your career is an asset, and you must get a return on investment from it. So, that's one of the other myths that we're going to be busting. And the other myth that I want to bust is that you cannot save your way to wealth. I'm going to say this again. You cannot save your way to wealth. Okay, I just saw the stat. 65% of households headed by Black women own no stock. And what that means is over time that your money cannot compound as rapidly as it needs to. Okay? So we're going to be talking about that and just sharing with you women who their first 5-figure portfolio up to 6 figures portfolios and now 7 figures. It can be done. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And now more than ever, I think that, so Debbie says, unfortunately, you don't know what you don't know. I'm so glad we're waking up and finding better ways to do things. Yeah. Well, in our defense, hey, it's like the fact that we have achieved what we have with all this systemic economic barriers is it's amazing. We're amazing, right? We're amazing. We're brilliant. We're genius, and yet we just simply have not. What do I want to? We haven't had the right roadmap. And it's difficult to go against the grain. And but that's what is required. One of the things I recognized very early on in my career is that wealthy people do the opposite of what they're telling us to do. Ain't that deep? That's deep. They telling you to do this, but they doing the opposite. So but guess what? Nothing stands in our way. No excuses, guys. I mean, we got also access to all the information that we need. But what is critical is that we take action, right? We take action. That's what we got to do. And so I just wanted to come on. Oh, okay. So let me just go through some of these comments now. Let's see. Calvin, Virginia. Yes, like get a government job. That's funny. Yes, right, Virginia. They started Black Lives Matter. That's right. Cavette, that's the truth. Okay. Oh, Grant asked you. Hey, cousin. How you doing, Grant? I appreciate your vision and mission. Love you too, Grant. So Demita says scholarships are available. So Cassandra said my kids need scholarship help. Okay, so I'm going to tell you where you need to go. So what many people don't know is that the United Negro College Fund, they are a repository of information on how to find grants if you're, you know, how to find grants and all kinds of scholarships. And so what I'm going to encourage you to do is to go to their website. They'll even let you search by function. So again, you have to be strategic. So when you're looking for scholarships, what you want to look for are what are your child's interests and what is their track record. So, and like what degree are they going after? So if they want to be an accountant, so you want to go through all so you've got the big three now, Ernst and Young. So many times those companies are getting scholarship. I was in that's the other thing. So, okay, so we always got to be some drama. On my way out of the day before we leave to go on vacation, I look up in my computer, it's like got all these lines and I'm like, what is happening? So I call Apple and they're like, I don't know. I look down, I got a crack on my screen. Of course, because of COVID, you can't just walk in, you got to make an appointment. And it was the day that we were leaving and my family was looking at me. There is no way we going in an Apple store, Ma. You just gonna have to hang tight till you get back. That's what I mean. Opposition, right? But you just got to keep rolling with it. But and so the point I want to make, so I told you what I was going to share about you. So okay, so the week before I left, a friend of mine calls me and says, hey Deb, I recommended you to moderate this panel at Essence Festival. And I'm like, yes. And so long story short, we do a virtual thing. They tape everything. And I'm excited. And so I got the date. I know everything that's happening. I tell everybody about it. Make sure y'all show up and y'all hang out with me, blah, blah, blah. So then it is Friday about 5 o'clock. I look down at my phone and I'm like, oh, this is somebody from, the Essence people. Let me check it out. They're probably calling to say, maybe they changed the time. They tell me, Deb, we don't know what happened, but the tape corrupted. Can you retape this segment? And I'm like, are you guys out of your mind? I'm at the beach. I got no makeup. I'm chill, guys. I'm like, I got like a beach dress for every day. So anyway, after a few seconds of thought, I say, sure. So I go in, I take what little makeup I have. We have no lighting. The original shoot, man, I had my makeup artist. It was on and popping, da-da-da-da-da-da. So my husband, Terry, he looks at me. He's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, no, we got to make this happen. So we get lights, lamps. We make our I'm going to show y'all a picture of what our setup was. But we get it done. And you know what? The second taping was better than the first, right? And so the reason I want to tell you guys that is that's why I know this event on July 18th is going to be awesome. And if you want to, so here's the other thing. So you can go to my website, DeborahOwens.com, or just go to blackgirlmagicwealth.com. Go blackgirlmagicwealth.com. Okay? So anyhow, or if you go on the website, it's at the top of the website. Just click learn more and you'll go to the webpage. So you can go to wealthyu.com or DeborahOwens.com. So anyhow, remember I started out telling y'all about opposition. Like whenever you're going to get your breakthrough, just beware. There is going to be all kinds of things. Boom, boom, boom. Right. So then that happens. So we're, the Black Girl Magic promo was 50% off. So all you had to do was put BGM Early, BGMEARLY, BGM Early, and you got 50% off. So rather than paying $197, you only paid $97. So I say, well, hold off, go ahead and send the emails, right? So I'm looking at our emails and I'm like, wow, how come usually we get like a 25-30% open rate? We're getting like a 1% open rate. Nothing is opening. And I'm like, what is going on? So then I call our email provider. I'm like, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. So anyhow, thank God for Stephanie, one of our team members. She's figured it out, like it was going out of a different email, blah, blah, blah. So then so then I say, okay, so half the people didn't get it. So it was supposed to end last night. So by the way, you can still get in on it. Just go to the website, blackgirlmagicwealth.com, and you can get $197. You can get $97, or well, it's $100 off. So you only pay $97, because here's the cool thing. So that's what I mean, opposition. Now we're sending stuff out. People aren't even getting the emails. It's like, are you kidding me? Okay, so anyway. So in the meantime, what I'm really, really excited about is that we have everybody's sister friend, Kim Coles from Living Single, and she has made a tremendous pivot. So you're going to hear from her just talking about how she has used her gifts, right, to now help people tell their story. And one of the things we do in Wealthy You is we talk about your purse story, where you got your attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors about money. Typically you do that at a very early age, and so we're going to be weaving that story. Okay, so remember, I just said your career is an asset. Well, guess who else is going to be at this event? Minda Harts, best-selling New York Times author of the memo, Secure Your Seat at the Table. And in fact, at our last event, we gave away her books for the winners of the Portfolio Challenge. Well, she is going to be sharing some golden nuggets. I mean, she's a force in her own right, just really with courage, with grace, talking about the microaggressions and the things that Black women have to do to get their seat at the table. So she's going to be that return on investment in itself is going to be worth it. But there's more, because one of our amazing Wealthy You members, she's in the inner circle. She is the founder of She Dobby Black Hair and Beauty Products. Amazing. This woman built a 7-figure company in like that. And so she's going to be sharing how she made the leap from corporate to building this e-commerce platform that is killing the game. Her products are amazing. She solves the problem of hair growth. Just amazing young woman. So talk to me, y'all. What do you think about this lineup? This lineup is gonna be amazing. And it is specifically put together to address, that's why I'm calling it Black Girl Magic, to show you how to turn your brilliance, your intellect, your influence, your genius into wealth, taking into account and acknowledging all of the things that you have to go through. But we're going to go through them and win on the other side. And then finally, we're going to hear from Dr. Tisa Silver Kennedy, author of Melanin, Money, and Matriculation. So y'all can just stop the madness and stop thinking you got to have 100 degrees and be $200,000 in debt before you can, you're already brilliant. So, but there's more. Because I had virtual events. I mean, you don't want to be just sitting there listening to people. You'd be getting bored. So we've got DJ Sean, and he's amazing. He's one of my friend's son, but he knows how to do the playlist. And I'm making it just with my audience in mind. So we are going to be jamming. And then he's going to play so we're going to take a 45-minute break for lunch because everybody complained. They felt like they was having to eat while they were on camera. So we're going to take a 45-minute break, but we're going to have a jam session during that break. So we're going to dance. We might be doing some chair dancing or whatever, but we're going to do some Mary J. Blige, some Jill Scott. Yeah, we're going to have it going on. And so I'm so excited. And then for those of you who are in the Wealthy Youth Society, and that is our membership program, monthly membership program where women are going through the Wealthy Youth curriculum together. We're a little off cycle because I was gone last week, but we're going to have our Q&A session. It's our skill building session. Come prepared, right? All I'm going to say is come prepared. Because we're going to be taking a deep dive into the whole goal setting and how to align those to make sure that you have accounts set up for those goals and what is appropriate. So yes, if you look at your syllabus, because this is Wealthy You, you will see that on your syllabus it says that the first skill building, we're going to be going over the sum of your values, but I just want to be clear, we're going to be talking, less about the financial vision board, even though you should be updating that anyway. But I just feel like it is the second half of the year, and so that we need to gain clarity around goals, get very specific. You found the money to invest. Now it's time to put it to work. And so I'm going to end by saying, listen, you have got until midnight to take advantage of the Black Girl Magic Wealth event. I'm going to see if I can't I don't see Tawana or Stephanie, but I can't tell because I'm on this other platform. But we will post it in the Wealthy You community. If you haven't joined the Wealthy You community, we have a private group. See, I knew Tawana was there. See, Tawana, it takes teamwork to make the dream work. Okay, so Tawana just posted it on the Facebook page. I don't know if you're Tawana also post that on my public page as well for those who aren't in the Wealthy You community. But I want to encourage all of you to join. Woo! I did it. It's 8:55. I said I was going to do this for an hour tonight, but guess what? For the next what can I say? Week or so, I'm going to be hanging out with you guys, just kind of getting you. I want your mindset to shift so that when we get to this event, it's not about you just taking things in. You are already going to be primed for these speakers and to execute on what is being launched at this event, and that's the Black Girl Magic Wealth Blueprint. You need we're going to have the financial success roadmap for Black women. And it is going to be challenging some of the things that you are accustomed to hearing. But what I'm most excited about is at this event, all of the Wealthy You Society is going to be there. All of the Wealthy You goal models, all of the women who are in our Wealthy You inner circle, and you're going to hear about amazing financial transformation. Women who went from, thinking that they didn't have enough to invest to going from $10,000 to $100,000 and to $250,000 to $500,000 to seven figures. right? So if they can do it, you can do it, but it all begins in here. So much of what we do at Wealthy You is mindset, because it's really all about attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors. But not only is it about mindset, strategy, and execution. All right, guys. So you guys have a blessed evening. Hope to see. Now, don't forget. So if you got a friend or a sister or somebody, you've been listening to this and you're saying, man, we need to be there, take advantage of it. I'm like, we're putting $100 in your pocket, basically. We have made significant investments to make sure that this event, even though it's virtual, that you come away inspired, that you have fun, that you are engaged. We're going to be at a totally different studio. We've hired producers. We've got a DJ. We've got an amazing lineup. And I'll be honest with you, I've spent $3,000, $4,000 to go and listen to get this kind of insight. But this is the time that Wealthy You invest in you, right? So we've made an investment, but in order for you to get you got to make an investment so that we'll all get a return on our investment. All right, guys, I'm right at 8:58, 9 o'clock. All right, I'm Deborah Owens, founder and CEO of Wealthy You, where we teach Black women how to increase their financial acumen so that they can master the art of investing and build generational wealth. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.